Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to this session on tuning correctly. We've covered this in the acoustic guitar unit, in the bass guitar unit, and then now again for the electric guitar unit, just so you don't have to watch multiple videos. Tuning is so important, and often people mistune and they end up feeling like they have intonation problems. Let me stop for a second. A good setup for your guitar will make your tuning life and your intonation life so much easier. You're always fighting tuning when your guitar is out of whack. A guitar needs to be set up in a way that everything is happy and in line and everything's filed the way it needs to be filed, and your intonation, your saddles are moved where they need to be moved to make everything work the appropriate way. And then when you're tuning, you're getting a true representation of how your guitar is responding to the tension on it. Rule number one, tune the way that you play. Too often people will tune, I'm not going to turn anything up on the board here, but tune like this. Really light attack with their pick, and then they end up playing like that. And it just doesn't end up working. They end up tuning too lightly and then playing too hard, and they wonder why the guitar is out of tune. So let me just help you from the beginning here. Tune a little bit more aggressively than I was just showing you, but not quite as hard as your hardest playing might be. So for example, you can see the tuner here. You don't have to wait for the note to catch up either. Go ahead and all it needs to hear is the transient, which is like your first initial attack with the pick. But notice on the tuner, it never really lands and stays green, which would be like perfect, 0 cents flat and 0 cents sharp. It would be perfect. But it doesn't ever do that because I like to error a little bit flat when I tune. The reason for that is you can't physically press a string and cause it to go flat. You can only cause it to go sharp by pushing. But let me show you an example here. Here's a C. Now watch what happens when I just press too hard. I didn't bend it, I just pressed too hard. And so if you're not really consistent with your fretting, and if you're an acoustic guitar player or a rhythm guitar player, you might have heavy hands. Be sure that you're not over pressing the guitar, because you can cause it to go out of tune, even if it reads to be in tune on the tuner. So again, pluck pretty aggressively, not really, really hard, but pluck pretty aggressively and watch it tune a little bit flat. So here's an example. That one is a little bit flat. I'm gonna bump it until I meter on the green, on the middle, and I let it error flat. That's in tune to me. I'm gonna move on. I'll probably leave that. Let me give you an example here. If you're sharp on a string, don't just loosen the tuning peg. Don't tune down like this and leave it if it meters where you want it to. Because what you've just done is you've released tension on a string, and it may relax sonically to the right place and even visibly on the tuner, but the reality is once you start playing, it will stretch more until it's done relaxing. So always tune down below your note and come back up. I'd probably leave that. I'll leave that. Sounds good. Play a couple chords the way that you play chords that would cover all your strings. I like to play a D, an A, a G, and an E, and I end up kind of making sure it sounds good to my ear, and then I recheck the tuning. So just again, tune the way a little bit harder than really, really lightly. I always say tune the way you play, but unless you're really, really heavy-handed, just pluck the string pretty good, error flat on your tuner, and when you tune down, if you're sharp tuned down, go below the note and come back up. All right, I hope that makes sense. Let us know if you have any questions.